The Pitchsider. Pitchside for every game.
Hello and welcome back to the Pitchsider Podcast. Hope you are really well and having a fantastic weekend. Unless you are a Liverpool fan, then you're probably not enjoying it too much. But yeah, Pitchsider's back. We are going to run through some of the Premier League, Champions League, La Liga, some European games, and then we'll come back to round it up. And then next week we will have the return of the Champions League. So let's get started with the Premier League. So it started off with a Manchester United versus Southampton. United won this 3-0. Brighton and Ipswich drew 0-0. Palace and Leicester drew 2-2. Fulham and West Ham drew 1-1. Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool with a Callum Hudson-Odoi goal. Man City beat a Brentford after Brentford went 1-0 up in that game, 2-1. Aston Villa beat Everton 3-2. Everton become the first team since Southampton a few years ago to lose back-to-back games after going 2-0 up. And Chelsea beat Bournemouth in a 1-0 victory, which broke the record for the most number of yellow cards in a Premier League game ever. On Sunday, we had the North London derby, which was Arsenal versus Tottenham. And then we had Newcastle versus Wolves, which was a 2-1 to Newcastle after they were a late comeback there. So let's have a look. Let's go into more detail. So with the Manchester United versus Southampton, De Ligt, Rashford and Garnacho all scored in a 3-0 victory, which led to United climbing up the table. Now they sit 10th now with 2 wins and 2 losses from 4 games. Very interesting game. There was a few draws. So obviously we've got the 4 draws as mentioned: Brighton, Ipswich, Crystal Palace, Leicester, Fulham, West Ham there. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. Liverpool obviously have won their first 3 games with 3 clean sheets. Unfortunately, they weren't able to beat Nottingham Forest. They stunned Liverpool at Anfield and ended Arnold Slot's perfect run as a Red Boss. A substitute Callum Hudson-Odoi cut from the left and curled in an inch-perfect shot into the far bottom corner, which Alisson could not reach. This was their first win at Liverpool at any competition since 1969. Man City were able to come back with Haaland getting 2 goals after Wishart scored within 1 minute. Haaland scored twice to take his Premier League tally to 9 as Manchester United recover and from conceding just after 23 seconds to maintain a 100% record victory against Brentford. Aston Villa versus Everton. Substitute Duran's sensational long-range strike and Aston Villa a memorable Premier League comeback as Everton crumbled from 2-0 down for the second competitive game. And Chelsea substitute Christian Nkunku netted a late goal to snatch a 1-0 victory away from Bournemouth in a game with a Premier League record of 14 yellow cards. The Cherries had a bulk of their chances and their £40 million signing Enver missed an opportunity to score his first Premier League goal when he had a poor first half penalty paired away from Robert Sanchez. Sanchez probably the goalie of the weekend as well. Chelsea did not deserve to win this game, but again, Chelsea get the 3 points there. North London derby, Arsenal beat Tottenham as Gabriel scored a header from a corner. Arsenal came out on top in a fierce North London derby as Gabriel's second half header gave them the victory over Tottenham. The Gunners were without Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice through injury and suspension and survived a stern examining from and Postecoglou's side to spark erratic scenes at the final whistle. Arsenal keeper Raya was excellent in the early stages to keep Spurs at bay with fine saves from fine saves. So let's have a look at the Premier League table and how this is now standing. So Manchester United are top by 2 points with 4 wins out of 4. Arsenal sits second, joint on points with Newcastle, with Liverpool sitting in 4th. Villa sit in 5th with 9 points, and with Brighton, Forest and Chelsea making up the top 8, with Brentford and Manchester United sitting in 10th. In relegation, we've got Everton and Southampton as they both look for their first wins or first point of the season, with Wolves and Ipswich also in the fight. Wolves obviously losing 3 games and drawing 1, and Ipswich getting 2 draws back to back. Palace matching them, and with Leicester sitting in 15th and West Ham in 14th. 13th is where you find Tottenham with 1 win after 4 games with 2 losses and 1 draw. Definitely not the start of the season and wanted to start off with. But yeah, still a long way to go. We've still got about 34 games, I believe, in the season, so anything can happen. So let's have a quick look at the sort of championship, as this has become our new feature we mention now. Starting off in the championship, we had Hull. They lost to Sheffield United 2-0. Leeds lost to Burnley 1-0. Luton beat Millwall 1-0. Oxford United beat Stoke 1-0, with Stoke now sacking their manager. Blackburn beat Bristol City 3-0. Derby beat Cardiff 1-0. Middlesbrough and Preston North End drew 1-1. Plymouth Argyle beat Sunderland 3-2. Sheffield United Wednesday beat Queen's Park Rangers, drew Queen's Park Rangers. Norwich City 1-0, and Watford and Coventry City drew 1-1. On Sunday, Blackburn lost. Portsmouth lost to West Brom 3-0. And that is all the games. So let's have a quick look at the table from the Championship. So West Brom remain top. They were 13 points after 5 games, with 5 wins out of 4. Sunderland sits in second with 12 points, losing their first game against Plymouth Argyle. Making up the playoffs is Blackburn, Burnley, Watford and Sheffield United. Cardiff, Portsmouth and Hull all currently sit in the relegation zone, with Portsmouth losing. All 3 of those teams have lost the last 2 games. So that pretty much wraps up of everything that's gone round in sort of England. We'll now just go through some of the European football. So starting on Friday, Real Betis beat Lenga 2-0. Borussia Dortmund beat Werder Bremen 4-2. On Saturday, Mallorca lost to Villarreal 2-0. And Espanyol beat Deportivo Alavés 3-2. Seville beat Getafe 1-0. And Real Sociedad lost to Real Madrid 2-0. In the Bundesliga, Borussia Mönchengladbach lost to Stuttgart 3-1. Freiburg beat Bochum 2-1. Bayer Leverkusen beat Hoffenheim 4-1. RB Leipzig drew to Union Berlin. Frankfurt beat Wolfsburg 2-1. And Bayern Munich beat Hossen Cologne 6-1. In the Serie A, Como and Bologna drew 2-2, Empoli and Juventus was 0-0, and Milan beat Venezia 4-0. In Ligue 1, Olympique Marseille beat Nice 2-0, Monaco beat Auxerre 3-0, and PSG beat Brest 3-1. On Sunday, Celta Vigo beat Real Vallecano 3-1, Barcelona beat Granada 4-1, Athletic Club beat Las Palmas 3-2, Atletico Madrid beat Valencia 3-0. In the Bundesliga, Augsburg beat St. Paul 3-1, Werder Bremen beat Mainz 2-1. In the Serie A, Genoa and Roma drew 1-1. Atalanta beat Fiorentina 3-2. Turin and Lecce was 0-0. Cagliari lost to Napoli 4-0. Monza beat Inter 1-1. In Ligue 1, Reims beat Montpellier 3-0. Reims beat Nantes 2-1. Strasbourg and Angers was 1-0. Toulouse beat Le Havre 2-1. And Lens and Olympique Lyon was 0-0. And as we're recording this on Monday, there is Rayo Vallecano versus Sassuolo, Parma versus Udinese, Lazio versus Hellas Verona, all to play. So let's have a look at the tables. In the Serie A, Napoli are top, followed by Inter, Juventus and Torino, with Parma and Udinese all making up the top 6. Como, Cagliari and Valencia are all sitting in the relegation zones. In Ligue 1, PSG are top with 12 points with 4 wins. Olympique Marseille are sitting second with Monaco in third, followed by Lens, Nantes and Reims. Saint Etienne, Angers and Montpellier all make up the relegation zone teams. In La Liga, Barcelona are top with 5 wins out of 5. Atletico Madrid are sitting joint in second, followed by Real Madrid and Valencia all on 11 points. Celta Vigo and Deportivo Alaves all sitting making up the European spot, with Getafe, Las Palmas and Valencia all in the relegation zone. Finally, in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich are top with 3 wins out of 3. Dortmund sit in second, followed by RB Leipzig and Werder Bremen. Bayer Leverkusen and Frankfurt sit 5th and 6th, with Bochum, St. Paul's and Hoffenheim all making up the relegation zones with 0 points each. So some of the headlines: Barcelona, PSG and Bayern Munich keep up their perfect starts. Gallagher has scored his first goal in the win over Valencia. Lamel scores twice as Barcelona maintain perfect start. New boss Van Persie not traumatised by his 9-1 loss in the Dutch league. Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. score in Real Madrid's win. Kane scores a hat-trick in empathy Bayern Munich win. Leverkusen returned to winning ways after Hoffenheim. Ousmane Dembele doubts he will help PSG hit back at Brest. The doubles helped. Marseille chief has no regrets over the Greenwood deal. And Ricardo And yeah, so that sort of wraps up this week's sort of football. We haven't got any transfers to talk about as the transfer window has now ended. But if you want to keep up with all the latest rumours, do go and check our page out, our web pages and Instagram pages. But yeah, that wraps it up for this week. We will be around next week to fill you in for everything that has gone on in the Champions League. So thank you for listening and goodbye.
For all the latest news, transfers and football articles, check out thepitchsider.com. It's the place to be. Contact us on our socials. Instagram and Twitter is @thepitchsider, or via email is thepitchsider@hotmail.com.